Yeah, well, good morning to everybody out here. I'm on the West Coast, so it's still morning and it's lovely. So I hope you're having a good one. President's Week. You're still working. We call it ski week out here. So if you're on this one, I guess you're not skiing, unless you're on the ski lift right now. Thanks for being here. All right, well, everybody, here's today's agenda, what Kane and I have for you. And Kane and I are going to play a little tennis match. We're going to be passing the screen back and forth because a lot of this is cloud stuff. So we'll kind of show when one person, builds this thing in the cloud, here's how you see it on the other end. So we'll keep passing it back and forth. We're going to set up a project in the Autodesk Construction Cloud and via the web browser app and go through that. We'll also use the Autodesk Desktop Connector app and show you how to get those projects syncing up with your Windows Explorer environment locally on your computer. We'll go in some documents, some construction documents, PDFs, in that Autodesk Construction Cloud. We'll put those in there and make some markups on those PDFs with Bluebeam. And then we're going to showcase the versioning tool, and that's just an awesome tool that's built in the Autodesk Construction Cloud. And then using the desktop connector and a tool like Bluebeam, it all is very seamless and will make versions that you can access. And we'll go in via the web browser and look at some of those. And then we're going to look at using Bluebeam Studio Session and using that as a markup generation tool. So just like Bluebeam, but just the collaborative whiteboard type session, and taking all those markups from that and putting that in as another version in our Autodesk Construction Cloud. So using the ACC and Bluebeam in concert, finding where these two pieces of software just really can jive, and you can get some extra productivity and workflows out of your using both of these pieces of software. So that's what we got for you. We'll go through those, Bluebeam type comments, replies, status approvals, some image captures as markups while we're in the studio. And we'll be looking back at the versioning again one more time once we get all that in there on the ACC. So that's what we got for you. I can tell you a little bit more about myself, and then I'll pass it to Kane to tell about him. I'm an applications expert here at Imagine It. I'm based out of San Diego. Been in the industry for over a couple decades. Drafter and designer roles, mostly in the civil and land surveying world, but also have had some stints in construction, environmental, geotech, these kinds of places. And worked my way into CAD and GIS manager over the years. Just really loved the technology side, and eventually found myself in the reseller channel and AutoCAD Civil 3D expert, as well as Bluebeam and other ancillary products. And that's a little bit about me. Do a lot of consulting here at Imagine It. We go in and consult, make sure you got the best workflows and everything going, as well as training for all of these kinds of software products. Let me introduce Kane, our senior application expert. Go ahead and pop on, Kane. Say hi.
How's it going, everybody? Kane Reed here, coming from the general contractors industry for about 15 years. Implemented several different construction management software, and found my way over to the Autodesk world, and that's what led me to Imagine It. So pretty much most of my experience is in general contracting and just utilizing construction management tools to help do my job. So thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Well, I know everybody is starstruck here by our panel of experts that's going to be talking, but I think we should move on to some of the demo and webinar, or we can sit here and keep talking about ourselves. All right, looks like the audience wants us to move on and get into the software. Okay. We'll pass it over to Kane here, where he is going to set up the project in Autodesk. That's not a picture of Kane. Kane's much more handsome. Sorry to whoever that picture is of. We're going to set that project up in the Autodesk Construction Cloud via the web browser interface. and then we're going to toggle that new project that he makes on and the Autodesk desktop connector so we get that interaction with the Windows Explorer. So we're going to pass it on to him. Here we go, changing panelist to Kane. All right, Kane, we see your screen. We see the web browser up with the projects and ACC.
Cool. So we are in our Imagine It hub in ACC. We're going to go ahead and just create a project. Call this Government Revenue Project. Just a pseudo job number. And I'll come down here and call it just a demonstration project.
Kane, on that project, because we did our run through so many times with government webinar, can you call it like ACCBB or something at the end? Just
Sure.
so we, yeah, or whatever, just so that way we don't get it confused with our other ones that we've done.
So create project. I'll go ahead and add in Alan. Give him the correct permissions. Make sure he's got the project. We're using Docs, so we're good to go. Send invitation. And then from here, my first step is to go to my already downloaded desktop connector. Access it right there. And then I'm going to hit select projects. And here is where I'm going to link the web portal into my native file explorer. So as you can see, I'm adding this project here, hitting save. And what this is doing for me is adding in the project to my file explorer. So I've got Autodesk Docs here, go to the Imagine It hub, and as you can see, that project is here. So we've got project files. I don't have any folder structure in this built out yet, but notice I have a folder structure template. I can quickly Control-C and paste into here. And so this is actively uploading the project, the folders to the project. So I'll just go back to the project, to the web portal, go into
So
Docs.
that's really cool. You can just copy, paste, drag, drop with the Windows Explorer environment to get that folder structure in. You don't have to use one of those ACC templates, and run your folder structure through that, assign that. You can do it just straight from the Windows Explorer environment.
Correct. So next, Alan will upload some drawings for us and a few files into the construction folder.
All right. You can pass the presenter back on to me. All right. All right. You should see my Bluebeam review screen. You all see that? Okay. So next step I'm going to need to do is go to that desktop connector app, which, I already have installed here. And when I click on that, I need to add my project. And go to my gear icon, or I can go there, hit select projects. Look for that project that I was invited to. Right here's my ACCBB project that Kane just created and invited me to. And it tells me right here, my projects are connected and they are ready for me in the File Explorer. Go ahead and hit OK. Where's my File Explorer? On the other monitor. Come over. Here we go. And then in my Windows Explorer environment, I get just right away, just like any other cloud service, my OneDrive, my Dropbox, Google Drive. There's an Autodesk Docs area right there, ready to explore in. I click on that. I look for that project, ACCBB. That's our project today. And let's say I got the construction documents ready to drag and drop into our project in the construction cloud. I got them ready to go in another one. Here they come, lightning fast. You've never seen someone move files from one folder to the next so fast. Here we go. Just quick drag and drop. Here's a construction file. I also had a few images that we'll play with later of a job site. That should sync fairly quickly. Here's your little status indicator showing that it's syncing. Look, that green check mark means it's already uploaded and synced up to the cloud. The images will take a little extra minute. This one's only 200K. The images probably are about done. But those might be a few megabytes a piece. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 check marks. Those are good to go. Yeah, so that whole folder is synced up. I'm going to pass it back over to Kane, and he's going to take a look at it on his end and show us not only in the Windows Explorer environment that he's got it, but also up in the cloud via the web browser.
Okay. Got Bluebeam open now. What I'll do is just go into open. Notice I'm able to access the ACC project natively on my Autodesk Docs, ABC, project files. We'll go into construction, and then we'll open this first document in Bluebeam. And here that is. What I want to show you first is I'm going to add a few markups to this. I'm going to add a call out. Just call this test 1. Maybe even pull up my tool chest. Maybe I want to take the area measurement of this room, put that in there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and hit save from here. And so what I want you to do is notice that in ACC, directly out of Bluebeam, I just saved. And this currently shows a lock because I just had the file open. And then if I can hit a refresh, it should update the version of this file. So not only did I just save over, but ACC natively tracks revisions. So I can come in here, I can look at the first drawing. We notice that there are no markups. It tells us that this is not the current version. So I'm going to go to the second version. And my markups have made it natively straight from Bluebeam into ACC with a version control.
So awesome.
History. So I will pass it back to Alan.
Yeah, if you want to pass it back to me, I'll show on my end what it looks like when Kane is in there. Let's see that one. All right, you guys should see my Windows Explorer here. Tell me if that's not what you're seeing. And you see this little lock icon right here on that PDF. So it tells the other users, someone else on the team in that project is in that PDF making changes right now. So you got that visual indicator, then you know it's locked up. We're going to purposefully go in there and make some conflicts. We're both going to make markups at the same time, and we're going to watch how the software resolves the conflicts, which is pretty cool. And we're going to go into it. All right, Kane, I am in now, and I'm going to make some of my comments. And so you do your thing also on your end.
Okay, I'll make my comment at the top left.
You're doing a top left. He's making a markup.
I'm going to go ahead and save my document, pretending as if I was already in it, making all my changes.
All right. I'm going to make my comment. Alan's test comment to show the first versioning collision. Very, very cool words. I made up these words. All right, so there's my comment. It's going to go up in the top right. I'm going to go ahead and save. Oop, I got the read only. So that's one thing that it will give you.
I'll exit out.
If he's still in it, it'll give you the read only, and that's going to force you to do a save as. If he's out, completely out, and sometimes it takes a second for the ACC desktop connector to refresh out of that lock. Still showing a lock on mine. Let's see if it'll save.
You might be good.
All right. All right, so now it gave me the save because he was out, We're going to have two different versions because he made a comment and I opened this off the version before he made that comment. And so my comment's here. It's going to end up with two different versions. Oh my. I'm going to go ahead and close out of mine. And this is what you're going to run into when that instance happens. It's going to sit here forever in this sync status because it has a sync pending. It doesn't know what to do with it. Let's look how we can resolve that. If you also look on my desktop connector, I got a red dot, little red dot warning on top of it. I can hover or I can click on it and it's going to tell me right here that PDF updating the file failed because a conflict has occurred on this file. Let's look at what we can do to resolve that. You can click on these three ellipses right here and hit resolve. And this is what's really cool. You get these four options. Obviously, resolving later will just punt the whole situation. It won't do anything. It'll just punt the whole situation. All of those warnings will stay there and you can work through those warnings later. I could do keep theirs. So I can keep Kane's and I can trash mine. That's what that one is. So my note will get deleted and trashed if I do keep theirs. I can do keep both. We're going to showcase both of these top ones, but keep both will keep Kane's saved here with that main master file name, and then it'll make a copy for the version that I made, and it'll hyphenate and put my username at the end. But keep mine, this is where the power of using the ACC and Bluebeam together is really cool. Keep mine will make mine the master file name, but it'll also keep Kane's version, and it's going to put it in the versioning that we just saw him do via the web browser. So mine will be version 4 or something, some number like that, and his will be version 3, and we'll have both of them available to us in the cloud, which is really cool. So I'm going to hit keep mine, and we're going to showcase that. So once I resolve the conflict, it should sync up in a second. We're all synced up. I got a blue dot. Let me do a refresher on that. There we go. Check mark. I'll pass it back over to Kane to show us that versioning.
Yeah, and as you can see, now we're on version 4 of this file. And so if I click on versioning, you can see, I was third in line, second, Alan was first. But if I go ahead and click on that, and we can just prove that our markups came over. Here is Alan's first. Here is my second round of comments. And then, of course, my first round of comments. So you can see that it not only saves the revisions, but you can also save on top and update the revision as well.
Very cool, powerful tool in that versioning. What we're going to look at next, though, is how could we reconcile those two different changes? What's a workflow to get everybody's back on that, everybody's markups back on that original? All right, I'm going to show my screen again. All right. So Kane's going to go back in there, and we're going to do that same kind of thing. Go ahead and get yourself in there, Kane, and he's going to make a comment where we get that kind of conflict again.
Okay. I've opened it.
All right. All right, I see that lock pop up within a few seconds after he opened it and started working on it. Hopefully y'all can see my screen, the Explorer. Booting up my drawing here. Here we go. Nice. All right, Kane, go ahead and make a comment. Let me know, are you making it in the bottom left or something?
I did an area takeoff in the middle, so it's a measurement, so they'll be able to see it pretty clearly.
Cool. I'll do the bottom left.
Cool. And I'll hit save and close out of it.
All right. So Alan's second round of test comments to show how to reconcile conflicts, conflict resolution. Okay. I thought we were going to be talking about feelings when I signed up for this webinar, but it turned out we were talking about PDF files. All right, conflict resolution on this one. It's going to be fun. We're going to use the other method that we were talking about. All right, so you saved and got out?
Yep.
All right, Kane. Let's see if it gives me the read-only. Nope, it goes right into it. It doesn't give me a read-only. I'm going to save and get out of that drawing. I'm stuck in that status sync icon. Look over at my desktop connector. I got the red dot again. Same thing that happened last time. That's what we want. Going to resolve it the same picks and clicks. Click on the three dots. Go to resolve. But this time I'm going to do the keep both option. So last time we did keep mine, and that shoved it right into the versioning history. And this time if I go keep both, it's going to make a copy of mine. So there's Kane's copy. Here's my copy, and it's got a hyphenated with my username at the end of it. And they are all synced up in the cloud. I can open both of these back up on my end right here. Cool thing with Bluebeam, I can select multiple PDFs in a Windows Explorer folder. Hit enter and it'll open them all up. You saw that little downloading screen. It doesn't take up much memory on your hard drive using the Autodesk Docs. A lot of it is just going to kind of be streamed live. It doesn't cache everything, so that way it doesn't take up hard drive space. So sometimes you'll see those little downloading screens. All right, so here's Kane's version with the big measurement takeoff in yellow. That's his markup that he was making, while I was making my markup down here in the bottom left. And so let's say that those are the comments we all need to reconcile onto this PDF. Of course, we did this earlier, and there was a comment up here that Kane made. And so we were just showcasing with that one, the versioning part. We're not going to add that comment in, but if you wanted to add it in, you could go download that version and use this same workflow. It would just be a rinse and repeat. Do it one more time. But we'll spare you that. We'll show you how to do it. Right now, I'm going to take my comments out of this version, which is the ableist version that got hyphenated at the end. And I'm going to put them on Kane's version over here. There's a really cool method to do that workflow. Let me show you the picks and clicks on it. You're going to go to your markups list, drop down fly out, your markups fly out, and then you have these import and export comments buttons. These are really cool. So it's just going to export all the markups. I said export comments. It's export markups to be technical. So it's going to export all the markups that are in the PDF, and it's going to make it a markups file. It's a Bluebeam annotations file. I'm going to save it right here. It'll take us to that folder that the drawing is in. That's the ACCBB project files construction. Perfect. File type is a Bluebeam annotation. It's not a PDF. It's just the comments part of a PDF. It's really cool. Go ahead and save that, export. Let me see if I can show it to you here in the Windows Explorer. There it is right there. And you can see right here the file type. It's not a PDF document, but a Bluebeam review markup export. Really powerful part of the software. I want you guys to have this in your tool belt if you don't already. Now I go over to our master version of the file here with the good file name that we like. This is Kane's edition, but it didn't get my comment because we had that conflict resolution. Now I'm aggregating all the comments onto this version, the master version. I go to markups list, markups, fly out and import. Go ahead and grab that Bluebeam review markup export file. And I hit open. And then boom, here's that comment. So it technically took in all the comments that it had over here. I think there was 4 or 5. There was 4. It doesn't duplicate them when you do that process. So it's not putting in, two versions of that text box, two versions of the cloud. It automatically reconciles out duplicate markups and comments, and it just puts in what is different. So that's a workflow to reconcile when you get these revisioning conflicts, these version conflicts. Just take the two PDFs, take that markup list. You can even use your filtering tools to filter it down if you need to, not include everything, but you can take that whole markup list, import, export it into that document. All right, I'm going to close this and save. And then I'm going to close that one as well. Uh-oh, I hope you were out of it, Kane.
Yep, I'm out of it.
You were out of it, okay, cool.
Should be good.
It's processing. Okay, got a lock, but I think the lock was on my end. That's why it was blue. Okay, I'm gonna, just for the sake of the demo, we can fix it. We have the full workflow to fix it if it happened. All right, and then these -A Bliss ones, with that hyphenated username, that version, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete, because I've taken all of the different markups and I've now placed them into the master version of the file here. Wanted to show you one more thing. When I hit delete, Autodesk Docs, the desktop connector, has this cool feature. Anytime you delete anything in that Windows Explorer environment, it's going to give you this warning, and it's going to pause the syncing. Right here, syncing paused. And it's going to say, did you mean to remove those files? And it gives me the option to hit restore. It'll put those two files right back in here. Or I say remove, and then it'll sync up that deletion with this Windows Explorer environment with what's up there in the cloud. So I go ahead and hit remove, and then boom, 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 the delete function is all synced up. And we'll pass it over to Kane. Take a look, and he's also going to show us. He can take a look at it on his end, as well as show us our next step, which is playing with the studio session as a markup tool. Back over to you, Kane.
Cool. So you can see those files were deleted. The version control has been updating this whole time, and we can go right into that file and see all of the markups that we've all made throughout this process.
So version 6 has all of that. What did version 5 have? Is that the version that you made without, and then won't have my comment, right? I would hope. Yeah, cool.
So that worked out well.
And that versioning is so easy. You get it in that list, and then you also get that drop-down flyout when you're looking at a PDF in the ACC. It's very slick.
Yep. And then next, we wanted to showcase utilizing the Bluebeam Studio and directly accessing files from the desktop connector from ACC. So I'm in Bluebeam Studio, as you can see. I'm going to go up to sessions. I'm going to create a new session, just like this. Call it something like that. And notice I'm going to add a file straight from here, but it's going to be the file directly from that project in ACC.
Awesome.
That file right there. Hit OK. As this project starts up, now I'll just invite Alan via email.
And when he passes the screen back, I'll show you how easy it is to join on my end.
So I'll give him a second, and I'll go ahead and open up a folder with all the comments. So you can see that we've opened that straight from the desktop connector into an actual Bluebeam Studio session.
So, and you can see by the icon there in the file path that we are in the Bluebeam live session. Oh, you already passed it back to me. Great. Let me share my screen. All right, you should see my Windows Explorer right now. Let me see about see if I can show you my email. See if I can open that email. Here it comes. Very nice. So here's the email I just got when Kane invited me to that studio session. It's this easy. When you get those emails inviting you to a studio session, you just hit the green button. Of course, if you invited someone who didn't have Bluebeam, they can go right here and create an account and get on one of the free versions of Bluebeam themselves. So they don't need to be all set up in order for you to invite. Once you invite them, it's going to have all the information they need to get set up with the free version as well and get in here and take a look. All right, my Bluebeam's firing up and getting on that studio. Here we go. It takes me directly into the studio session. You can see I'm in there. We can see the record of all the things that are happening so far. There we go. Kane's in there making all his markups. He's going to town. Cool thing about the Bluebeam studio session, you can see right here. So it looks just like it did before when we were working on this PDF from a local file from our C drive. And it's built to interact just that way. You're going to have all your same tools, your tool chest, all your markup tools. You're still in the Bluebeam app, so you just have all of that stuff available to you. You have the markups list down here. Everything is very similar. You're just having things stored in the Bluebeam cloud, and it's a live session. So we use it like a whiteboard. Think if you're like in a Zoom collaborative meeting with the whiteboard where everybody can write on it at the same time. That's what's going on here. Keep making some comments, Kane, and we'll watch them come on in real time. I see some highlights and quantity takeoffs coming in on all these rooms. He's putting in area measurements on there. That's great. I can put in some comments as well at the same time. Whatever comments I want. Widen pathway, I don't know. Very creative at this hour. Here we go. So there's my comment. We can adjust all these things just like you would in the normal Bluebeam session. Okay. I am going to also show you how we can put some pictures and some captures on a markup. I'm going to do a highlight here on this wall. Just my highlighter tool, holding shift to get a straight line. I'll do another highlighter over here. Get a shift on a straight line on that wall. Maybe change the color for one of them. Do some kind of magenta deal. And all these markups are showing up in real time on that session for Kane as well. It's all a big live session. We're going to pass it over to him in just a sec. To add a capture of an image, I can right click, and what it's going to do is basically attach an image to that particular markup. Of course, you can also insert images onto the PDF. That would just kind of be like taking a glue stick onto the back of a wallet size print and putting it on your PDF. You can size it, but it's sitting there, you know, that image. These images aren't just sitting there. They have a little hyperlink to open them. So here's a picture of a wall issue. So I've attached that wall issue picture right to that highlight. Can go over here to the magenta highlight of that wall. And of course, you can take them directly from your camera on your device, whether that be a laptop, iPad, phone. You can take them directly from there. You're not just limited to pictures either. You can also put in video and 360 images if you have those. And just like that, it attached on there. You can see in the markups list that I have a capture column that shows there is an image associated with that markup. Now that I have my markups in, I'm going to pass it back to Kane. He's going to show you how he can see those pictures in the markup. And we're also going to show you how we can do some comment replies back and forth.
Sure. Yep, I'm in still in the Bluebeam Studio session. I can quickly click on the photos that Alan has added. I see that that's cracked wall, another crack there. And this is where I could come down to my markups and just see everything that Alan's done. And maybe I want to add a comment just like I did here. I could reply to any of his markups and maybe say, what is this? what is this finish supposed to be,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like
What is
that.
this finish? Let me reply to your what is this finish? So I can click on that what is this finish supposed to be comment, right click on that, hit a reply myself. You see my reply coming. This should be, I've been hanging out with some construction folks. Finish number 5, is that right?
Level
Does that make
5,
sense?
yeah.
Level 5, darn it. Number 5,
Mhm.
level 5. I'm learning. My discipline is concerned with the ground and what's underground.
Yep. It
You
should be
fancy people
exhausting
get
as
to deal with
well.
what's above ground.
Yeah, so I see that he commented here. I would come in here and maybe I would change the status of this. I'd probably accept it or reject it, or I could confirm that this markup has been taken care of. So I'm just going to accept it. And that way we know that this markup has gone through the review channels, through all of us involved, and it's been accepted. So you can quickly see that.
And then if I
And then on
was
the left,
later on in the process, I could go in and I could inspect the building with the walkthrough. You know, I could take that comment and switch it to completed. I just did that. You probably see that on our markups list. I just marked it completed. So we have this ability to check the status with different custom drop downs: completed, accepted, you know, reviewing, work in process. You can put whatever you want in there. And when you're in this studio session type environment, everything's live, and we even have that like record and that chat that you see there on Kane's highlighting with his mouse. So that's a really cool tool to collaborate. You can do these in a live session, but you can also leave these open all week or all month, and people can come and go as they please and leave their notes in there and put their questions in there, and people can come in and answer those as they go. But all of this functionality in the markups list to make status as well as to hit replies, that can also be used just in the regular PDF locally. So if you all have those stored on a network drive or in a Dropbox, when one person opens it, they're going to see all those replies and all those status updates. So you don't have to be in a studio session and take advantage of this. And you also can use that set status and reply, you know, if you're just emailing a PDF back and forth. So if you have that version, someone put a bunch of replies, a bunch of status things, put it in the email, send it to you. You can go in there, update statuses and replies, email it back to them. So all of these functions are available to you in the studio session and in a just regular PDF with Bluebeam. All right, and then you were putting in the chat, are we all done with our comments, our markups? I believe we are. Okay, I'll go right to that too. We are complete with markups.
come up to the session up here. I'll go ahead and hit finish. And from here, it'll give us options. We could, in this exercise, we'll save and overwrite the existing. And then I do want to save the report of this file with all the markups. So I'll make sure and clarify where I want that saved within the project. Construction, maybe I'll create a new folder. Session review markups. Just hit save right there. And I will just hit OK right here in the session. Hit OK.
Now, then I got an alert on my Bluebeam that the session got ended. It's real instantaneous.
Then here's that report of everything that happened during that session, all the markups. You can see here's the file.
A lot of construction folks, management folks like those reports. That way from the session, here's our collaborative session. Here's the comments you made, Bob the Builder. Here's, you know, you never made that comment, Bob the Builder. You know, you got your evidence, your support right there. There's the list of all input that was received. So it's a very powerful tool to document everything.
As you can see, just natively, we're just storing the versions throughout each save.
And so you updated our version of the PDF with the PDF that came out of that Bluebeam session, and that Bluebeam session PDF is now version 7?
Correct.
Awesome. And show us one more time that toggle back and forth when you're on there. That was really cool. So there's with the highlight and all the images that were attached and everything. Here's before that, the status of everything.
And I can quickly compare these documents as well.
Yeah, so many tools in that ACC versioning, and just want to show you that that's a huge highlight, the versioning tools that are available to you in ACC, using those in concert with Bluebeam. There's a lot of ways to get these two pieces of software to play nice together, and where there's a lot of cohesion, and it just really can up your game and productivity. And even if you don't have both pieces of software, hopefully you got some cool tools for your tool belt today if you just have Bluebeam or you just have ACC. And we hope that, yeah, even if you just got one side of this instead of both, that you're getting some good value out of this webinar today with some new picks and clicks, new tools for your tool belt. Let me see
I'll pass it
here.
back to you, Alan.
Yeah, if you can pass it back to me, I can put on our concluding slide. All right. Just a second. Oh, I see you. There we go. Show my screen. You guys see my PowerPoint slide up here?
Yep.
Good.
It's there.
We got this QR code here for a free trial of the software. There's some contact information, our 1-800 number to get hooked up with a rep at Imagineit who can help get you set up with any more demos set up to your individual case, as well as, you know, get you plugged into the software.